Guys, if you need to take a pee break, this is the time to do it.
What?
Sal, I see you.
Right now?
Go pee.
Right now? We're just starting.
Pee now.
The show has just gone live. At least my half has just gone live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is a live show. We talk about technology. We drink a few beers. Occasionally, we use some adult language, some curse words from time to time. You know, not excessively, but just bear that in mind if you are sensitive to that sort of thing.
But
Demonstrated right now. We already have been doing this show for an hour. This is episode number 130 of Awesome Hardware, and the first half was on Kyle's YouTube channel, which is known as Bitwit. So check that out. The link is in the description, as well as links to all of the stuff we're going to be talking about today, which includes net neutrality, the Galaxy X rumored from Samsung, as well as some information about a big old cigar-shaped asteroid. Large cigar-shaped asteroid.
that sounds interesting.
Yeah, but if you happen to watch our YouTube channels and you enjoy the content we produce and you think that we're snappy dressers, for instance with the shirts that we're wearing right now, also sorry my dogs are freaking out for some unknown reason right now.
They're crying.
But check out our stores. My store is paulshardware.net, and you can find shirts, mugs, and pint glasses there, as well as some bottle openers. Dogs are very... I don't know what they're barking at right now. Got some hats, and we have a sale going on right now for 11-ounce mugs, baseball caps, pullover hoodies. So if you want to get some deals, it's all really high-quality merchandise. Check out the store. Kyle's store is bitwit.tech/store. He also has a wide range of very, very high-quality merchandise. So if you buy stuff during the show, at the very end of each half, we'll shout your name out.
Johnson!
And we'll shout Johnson.
Right at you.
Makes perfect sense.
You will be offended.
All right, let's continue the second half of episode 130.
Take these away from me, please.
No.
I will... Oh, God, okay.
I know, I know.
They're just so... They're too much right now. I can't even.
It's bowl Cheetos.
I don't even listen to the words that you're saying when the bowl's near me.
I got the Cheetos for our... We did a fan meetup this last weekend.
Oh, yes. Yes,
and they didn't even get opened.
That's
none
right.
of the fans even opened the Cheetos. So now I have a big ass bag of Cheetos.
Now we know our audience hates Cheetos.
It needs to be processed. I can't just throw away a bag of Cheetos.
Of course not.
So
What are you?
we gotta turn it into poop or whatever. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Right now we are drinking AleSmith Nut Brown.
Give me that nut.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's quite tasty. It's a very good beer.
Yes, indeed. All right. Wait, did I do the news? I didn't do the news thing.
News.
There it is.
From Earth. Oh,
Exactly. I mean, if you want, I can turn on the effects. But...
I'm sure everyone will want that.
All right, net neutrality. We're going to launch into a brief description of this. It's been all over the news today, especially if you've been on, say, Reddit or anything like that, because the FCC today has announced their new plans to eliminate net neutrality rules. I'm going to pause this real quick.
That's a bad thing, right?
I want to watch Wolf Blitzer. A couple links in the video's description about this on Reuters, as well as ARS Technica. Net neutrality is under attack. Brief history of net neutrality. The internet was created back in the 70s and 80s, started with ARPANET, grew into what it is today. For a very long time, net neutrality was just sort of accepted as that's how the internet works. There was what was called light touch regulation, because if you went on the internet and you wanted to go to that website over there, or that website over there, you were just able to do that because the internet was an interconnected network of computers with different websites, and that was the point of it, was to be able to go to whatever website you wanted. That's how it works right now. In 2013, there was actually some legal stuff that happened with regards to the internet. There was a challenge to the enforcement of the light touch regulation. There was another lawsuit against the FCC to challenge that. And eventually in 2015, the FCC, under the chairman at the time, Tom Wheeler, decided to classify internet service providers, wired, the wired connection you get to your home, as well as wireless, the connection you get on your cell phone, classify them as what is called common carriers, which allowed the FCC to regulate the internet service providers under Title II of the Telecommunications Act of, I forget when that was. The point is, this allowed the FCC to enforce net neutrality, to make an internet service provider such as Verizon or Comcast or AT&T treat all data equally wherever it came from out there on the internet. So if you at home wanted to access Netflix, you could stream that video from Netflix, or if you wanted to get on Facebook, you could access Facebook to do that, or any other website or thing that was on the internet you could do. That's what's being challenged right now. It actually started back in May. They introduced what was called a notice of proposed rulemaking. They took a bunch of comments about that notice of proposed rulemaking. They received actually 22 million comments about it. But there was some controversy around that. There was a mysterious DDoS attack of the FCC's comment system. There were impersonations of people going on, comments that were submitted, and then they looked at the comment because they're public comments and you can see who made the comment, and they contacted that person and say, hey, why did you say this? And they were like, I never said that. There's been impersonations going on. There's also been people both live and dead impersonated, and spam bots taking advantage of the batch submission API that the FCC had on their website as well. Now, there has been analysis of the comments that went through the system, though, and a very analysis in particular that's referenced by the ARS Technica article that's linked in this video's description was actually funded by Broadband for America. The members of Broadband for America include AT&T, CenturyLink, Charter, Comcast, many of the large internet service providers who are actually behind the current attempt to remove net neutrality from the current way that the FCC works. A specific study made by them found that when they looked at unique comments that had been made via the system, nothing that was repeated multiple times by a batch entry or something where it was like a form that people were just copying and pasting and submitting, unique comments, 98.5%. 98.5% of people who submitted comments like net neutrality, want net neutrality, and do not want these rules to be removed, which is what is currently being proposed. So what happened today was an introduction of these plans to deregulate the broadband industry and eliminate net neutrality rules by reversing the 2015 classification of home and mobile ISPs as common carriers. It was unveiled today. Tomorrow there will be a formal introduction, and then the vote will actually take place on December 13th. The FCC is currently Republican-controlled. And when you start talking about Republican and Democrat, people immediately get into this tribal mode where if you're on one side or the other and you hate the other side and everything, it's very divisive, and it's very sad that the U.S. is kind of in this state right now, and it kind of sucks. I implore all of you, if you are on one side or the other, to try to look at this from a neutral perspective. Don't take parties into consideration. But when it comes down to it, the FCC has 5 voting members, and 3 of them are Republicans, 2 of them are Democrats, and chances are the way the vote's going to go down is Ajit Pai and the 2 Republicans are going to vote in favor of this new rule, and the 2 Democrats are going to vote against it, and it's probably going to pass. That's the expectation right now. Ajit Pai, if you're not familiar with him, former lawyer for Verizon, and although he seems to be a super nice guy in person, very, very much has showed no inclination towards hearing what people seem to be saying when it comes to what people want to actually happen when it comes to net neutrality and the way the internet is controlled. So anyway.
So what does this mean in basic terms for citizens of the United States if this gets passed? How does it affect their daily lives?
We'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
But for right now, let's talk about what is going on as far as potential responses to this. The Democratic commissioner, there's 2 Democratic commissioners, like I said. Jessica Rosenworcel is one of them. She has proposed that the FCC hold public hearings across the country before altering the rules so that they can talk to people in person and perhaps get through the potential all the stuff that we already mentioned about the online submissions for commentary and stuff like that, there's questions as to how the legitimacy of a lot of those comments.
Yeah.
So have in-person hearings, but that's probably not going to be what happens. The plan that is proposed is called Restoring Internet Freedom, because it restores, which I think is because it restores to big internet service providers the freedom to charge customers more money and block or slow content as they see fit. After the vote, there will probably be lawsuits against the FCC, but in the past, the courts have generally gone with the decision that the FCC makes, so there's not a whole lot of hope of that happening. But Kyle asked what we're looking at, what actually might the upshot or repercussion of this be for you at home, and where did that go? It's gone.
Brace yourselves.
Oh, it's a Twitter link, and I didn't make it into an actual link, so I didn't actually open it. Hold on. So in Portugal, there are no net neutrality. There are no laws to enforce net neutrality. So what Ajit Pai and the FCC, what Ajit Pai is proposing right now is like, we don't need rules. We don't need any laws to enforce the internet service providers to treat internet traffic equally. We don't need anything that actually forces that. All we need is to tell them that you're going to be honest. You, as the internet service provider, is going to be honest with the American people about how you treat your traffic. So as long as you tell people, we're not going to let this traffic through. If it's from this part of the internet or this website or whatever. As long as you tell people that, it's totally fine. In Portugal, there are no net neutrality. There are no laws to protect net neutrality, and this tweet from Rokana shows just a snapshot of one of the net introductory packages. You can see this is the prices in euros, and as you can see, a messaging package if you want to add that to your network, €5 a month if you want Skype, Google Hangouts, and access to that. The social package, an extra €5 a month if you want access to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as all the other popular social networking sites. The video package for an extra €5 a month if you want to access YouTube, Netflix, Periscope, and Twitch. The music package if you want to stream from your favorite music streaming websites. An extra $5 a month if you want access to Spotify or Google Play Music. Email and cloud. Oh, you want to connect to your email service provider to actually get to your email? Well, you didn't pay for the email package with your basic low rate of $50 a month for your internet, so you're gonna have to pay an extra €5 or dollars to access your email or your Google Cloud or your Google Drive or anything like that.
It's making me nauseous.
And this is not a like speculative.
It's not photoshopped.
This is not a speculative. This is what it might happen. This is how it actually works. In Portugal, so it's really, really horrible. There's not a whole lot that we can do right now except to contact, as United States citizens, your representatives in the House of Representatives or your senators, and tell them emphatically that you really, really don't want this to happen. Let them know that you will consider their decision when it comes to getting in touch with the FCC to let them know about how their constituents feel, that you will take their actions on this as an indication of how you should vote in 2018. That's really all you can do.
I mean, it's sad that we have to increase that, over 98 percentile, over 98% to 99.9%. The 98% isn't good enough. The 98% of us who don't want net neutrality to go away isn't good enough. You still have to write your congressman to make it 99.99999% in order for this to stop happening. It's ludicrous.
So yes, it's incredibly frustrating. If any of you guys are outside of the United States and looking in on this, and are sympathetic for us, at least we greatly appreciate that. It really, really sucks. But yeah, if you want to contact your senator people, your Congress critters or whatnot, Battleforthenet.com has a good sort of rundown of what's going on right now, and you can enter your phone number, and it will give you scripts of what to say when you call in and that kind of thing. Driving calls also has sort of another rundown with a bunch of links to videos that probably do a better job than I have done just now, talking about the problem from lots of popular people. It's exciting to see certain websites get on this, like Pornhub. I saw an article on them. They had a big banner across the top of their website.
Porn for all.
It keeps coming up, and it might be fatiguing, but it does seem like when the public has an outcry that's significant enough about this type of thing, that you can get the powers that be to listen. So we sincerely hope that they do. If this does pass, it will probably be challenged in court, and we'll see how things go then. But hopefully there's enough backlash right now, like in the next 2 weeks before December 14th, that they at least have second thoughts about just plowing through with this decision and the stupid plan that the FCC has come up with to get rid of net neutrality. All right, let's move on.
God help Pornhub.
Yeah, deep breath, and let's move on. All right, so we talked about Battlefront 2 and the embattled EA with some of their decisions when it comes to microtransactions in the game, and they backpedaled pretty quickly last week.
Hell yeah, they did.
They came back and they're like, all right, no microtransactions for now. Temporary rescindation of the microtransaction system in Battlefront 2. Sorry, the dogs are barking right now. My wife is arriving. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Wait, hold on.
Reverb.
You turn on the reverb.
Give him the Tales from Space treatment.
Just turning. Just minimizing the sound real quick. All right. Everything's fine. Okay, so EA and developer DICE announced last week that they're temporarily removing microtransactions from Star Wars Battlefront 2. Temporarily. Good news, maybe, but yeah, you got to consider very, very like evident in every single actual legit communication from EA about this was that word temporary. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, VentureBeat actually reported last week that Disney CEO Bob Iger called EA CEO Andrew Wilson after the backlash when it became big news in order to discuss this being a negative or reflecting negatively on their intellectual property, especially with the launch of the next Star Wars movie coming up in December, and that was the reason why they went back on their decision. There's a new report from Wall Street Journal that says it wasn't actually a call between those CEOs, and that might have been just speculative or perhaps, fake news or whatever. The Disney head of consumer products and interactive media, Jimmy Pitaro, did send EA a message, though, expressing Disney's concerns. The executives were upset at how online outrage over the costs of gaining access to popular characters, such as Luke Skywalker, reflected on their marquee property. And that was what led to the decision to make the change. If you're looking at EA as a whole and you're hoping that all of the public backlash against them has caused them to fail as a company or something, or seriously reconsider their actions, probably not. An SEC filing late last week said the temporary removal of Battlefront 2 microtransactions is not expected to have a material impact on EA's fiscal year 2018 financial guidance. So who knows if that's accurate or if that's just sort of them trying to communicate to their investors that they shouldn't freak out and sell their stock. But it is important, again, to point out that everything here that's listed by EA as far as actions they're taking right now is temporary. And it might just be something that they're trying to do to salvage holiday season sales of their new game. And they're going to immediately turn it back on once that time frame has passed. Who really knows? It'll probably depend on how pissed off people are and how much they're slandering EA online. But hopefully for now, people are more concerned about net neutrality.
Yeah.
Just keep looping it back to that.
Bigger fish to fry, people.
All right, Tesla. Oh, jeez.
I was digging the music for a second there.
That's kind of badass. Hold on.
Yeah, it was kind of badass. Maybe we should have that song like intro our show every time.
Introducing Tesla's new electric semi-truck. Oh, sorry.
I was introducing Awesome Hardware.
Oh, the show.
The tech news show that no one asked for. Yeah, featuring Paul.
Full standing room.
Kyle. Full standing room.
Kyle. And, yeah.
And, okay, I'm done. Music's gone, so.
All right, so Tesla last week, I paused it, I'm sorry. Introduced
Fun killer.
2 new vehicles. One that was more expected, the semi-truck, which is shown in this excellent video with the awesome music.
Yeah. It's super corporate.
It's a semi, the Tesla Semi. It's an all-electric, heavy-duty truck. They unveiled it last week, November 16th. It shares a number of parts with the Model 3, including the same motor, handles, and display screen.
Gnarly.
It has a captain's chair up in front, which is centrally located, which is kind of different. It's got 2 display screens in front of that. A standing cabinet with that centralized area, which is allowed to be positioned more towards the front of the cab because there is no engine or transmission up there to get in the way. So that's pretty nice. It's also got 0 to 60 mile per hour acceleration in 5 seconds, which is insane for a semi-truck. And it's got Tesla glass, which is armored and apparently can withstand bullets or something like that.
What?
500 mile range, 30-minute recharge, 1 million mile guarantee from Elon Musk as far as the durability of the truck goes. And
crap.
yeah, it's all pretty impressive when it comes to stats there. Enhanced autopilot with lane keeping, emergency braking, forward collision warning, and production of the truck should start in 2019. So that's cool for truckers. But that was the first part of this introduction. The second part that came later on was the Tesla Roadster, which is super crazy. Wait, is it? Hold on. It's not even the right thing. Hold on. It's the Roadster. I need better pictures of the Roadster. Sorry, one sec.
It's a $200,000 car.
Yeah, $200,000
with a $50,000 deposit required up front. MKBHD already ordered one.
Yeah, I was.
That is shocking, said no one ever.
Well, he said he only spends lots of money on cars and cameras, which is a reasonable thing, I guess, to spend a bunch of money on. But yeah, the Roadster, it's a 2-door, but does have 4 seats, which is crazy when you look at it, because like, well, the other 2 seats must be for very, very small people in the back or whatever. But 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, or 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.9 seconds.
Wow.
Less than 2 seconds. 620 mile range. So Musk said you could go from LA to San Francisco and back in 1 charge, which is pretty cool for an electric vehicle. Quarter mile time of 8.9 seconds, top speed of plus 250 miles per hour, and 7,400 foot-pounds of torque, which is 7 times what the Bugatti Veyron Supersport has. Also pretty crazy when it comes to stats.
Which is like a $1.5 million car.
Yeah.
Like base.
So it's a $50,000 down payment right now, but $200,000 is the total cost of the vehicle, and you can pre-order one right now. Like Kyle already said, MKBHD, at least according to his Twitter feed, has ordered one. And here is it's called going to plaid, or extreme plaid mode, and there's a video of it here.
Why? Why is it called plaid mode?
Because it's the extreme acceleration that it can do. So it's got 3 independent engines, and this isn't the type of thing that you could do as a person controlling the vehicle. You have to like plug it in and be like, all right, do plaid mode right now.
Is that really the steering wheel?
Yeah. So there's a video of it here. They can set it up, and they had this sort of tunnel set up for people with lighting and stuff like that going on in it. And let me jump forward. So there's the tunnel. And this guy was in the passenger seat with his smartphone.
People are saying it's a Spaceballs reference.
Yeah, it is a Spaceballs reference, absolutely. And then they kick it off, and it's just crazy acceleration. An interesting video to watch. You can listen to the dude's reaction.
Yes, sir. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's got to be some ridiculous torque.
Yeah, I mean, the video doesn't really do it justice, I'm sure.
I can't even imagine. That's like a roller.
Yeah.
Like that's like Montezuma's Revenge.
Yeah, it's like
It's straight up like a roller coaster. Like
so. Pretty sweet.
No lag for combustion.
200 grand. Model production is set for 2020 for the Tesla Roadster, but of course, grain of salt because the Model 3 right now, which was already supposed to be more available than it currently is suffering some pretty significant delays in production. So who knows if that's going to affect this as well.
Yeah.
All right. The Roadster also might be able to fly.
Say what? Fly?
Just a quick follow-up story based on some of Elon Musk's tweets.
A special option package that takes it to the next level.
So,
quite literally. What?
Yeah, should clarify this is the base model performance. There will be a special option package that takes it to the next level.
Definitely enable it to fly.
Not saying the next gen Roadster special upgrade package will definitely enable it to fly short hops, but maybe certainly possible. Just a question of safety. Rocket tech applied to a car opens up revolutionary possibilities. So,
how?
It's like some wings. You like snap some wings on the side.
Yeah, how does that even?
Some lifts. Like, what does the FAA have to say about this? I don't know. It's a little crazy.
Fly short hops. What does that mean? Fly short hops. Like it'll be able to like jump up for like a split second and come back down. Like it'll actually levitate for a moment before. Like what? So you don't have to deal with speed bumps? Is that the benefit? Like never have to go over a speed bump again. It'll just like levitate over. It'll just float over a speed bump from now on. Because anything beyond that, it's like you have to create air roads if that's even a thing.
You'd have to add jet propulsion to it because any speed that it gets right now is from the rubber meeting the road, the actual tires. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I really.
Yeah, it would need some.
I really don't know. This is very mysterious,
it would need some Falcon 9 magic.
But Elon Musk in the past, he has some crazy ideas, but they're typically not just like him throwing out random nonsense.
Yeah, he's actually trying to work towards it.
There's usually something behind it, so
right.
We'll see. Yeah, well, it'll be like Rocket League. You get to.
Yeah, it would be great for shooting goals.
Yeah.
Hashtag goals.
All right. The Samsung Galaxy X, the iPhone X has just recently launched amidst a flurry of publicity and whatnot. The Galaxy X, which apparently has been in development for a while. There's been rumors of a Galaxy X device for a long time. So not necessarily them just biting on the on the iPhone X name or anything like that, but the model number SMG888N0 has been sort of floating around for a little while. There were some new sketches of this, and I think we briefly showed this on the show, that showed a foldable device. I don't know how good you guys can see this, but because they have been working on foldable OLED displays, although there's still a lot of other components in the device that can't fold, so can't necessarily make it a completely foldable thing, but this one shows sort of a flip design with the foldable area in the middle and an LCD or an OLED display that
it's such a tall,
goes
skinny phone.
Yeah.
It looks like it's 3-4 times as tall as it is wide.
Yeah, so I mean, but it might be interesting if it is a contiguous display across the middle, using that extra real estate for on-screen, keyboards or that kind of thing, the ability to type or do interaction without necessarily having to eat up a lot of your screen real estate, or just the fact that you have more screen real estate to work with. But the news as of today is the fact that there is a new support page for this device on the Samsung Korea website for that specific model number, SMG888N0. The N0 apparently indicates it's for the Korean market. 88 as a model number, just knowing something about luck. I don't know. Does that mean it's super lucky? Usually the number 8 is lucky. That seemed like a model number that they would choose for something that they want to do really well. Not really sure. But unfortunately, there's no new information to be gleaned as far as specs or that kind of thing from the product page itself. There is a little bit in the article about some of the stuff that's already known, such as they've gotten Bluetooth and Wi-Fi certification. They're expecting that it'll use the Snapdragon 835 processor because the 845 processor is not official enough yet, probably not far enough along in the development cycle. But a foldable phone would be pretty cool to see. I kind of want to see like a resurgence of the flip phone, but with the folding screen. Right?
I guess I kind of just want to see what it would be useful for. Other than being like, hey, look, it folds, it's cool. What?
You could open up your phone. Like
why?
Be sweet. Super sweet. All right.
Okay.
That's all for our standard tech news segment. Let's move on.
Sword fight.
Oh wait, no, is it?
Oh wait, no, you have one more.
I got one more.
Yep.
Hold on.
You got one more article here.
I got out of order though, and I closed things, and I need to fix this. This is a random quick story about a new product from XPG. We all love RGB, right? So how about an RGB SSD heatsink?
What?
The new XPG Storm RGB M.2 SSD heatsink. That's right.
Is that what it looks like? It looks like a mini GPU.
Yeah, it looks very thick and very tall, kind of. This is an aluminum heatsink with a fan integrated.
Oh no, that's going to be noisy as shit.
For your M.2 SSD. According to XPG, 25% cooler is what you can expect when it comes to temperatures on your little NVMe SSD. That's compared, of course, to a bare M.2 SSD with no active cooling or heatsink or anything on it. Some scenarios might see even better cooling, like if you have a fan pointed at it too, or something like that. But it does have the standard 4-pin RGB connection, so it makes it compatible with Asus AuraSync Gigabyte RGB Fusion, MSI Mystic Light, for example. I was going to point out they have different various ways of connecting it, such as the direct PSU connection, in which case it would have a standard RGB aesthetic, which I imagine would just be sort of an RGB cycle, or you can plug it in with the RGB control wire, and then you can sync it up with the rest of your stuff. But I imagine of our viewers, there's probably going to be tons of people immediately buying this. That's my expectation.
Not gimmicky at all.
All right. Let's move on to Sword Fight. We're going to have a little bit of an argument here as we briefly discuss EA's recent somewhat recent. To clarify, this kind of blew up earlier today. It's not that recent as far as the firing goes, but it does reflect on EA's recent actions when it comes to the games that they have acquired, whether they've developed them in-house or whether they have purchased other development houses and then done whatever the hell they want to with their actual intellectual property. So George Fan was one of the original creators of Plants vs. Zombies. He was laid off by EA back in 2012. Actually, he worked for PopCap. PopCap was acquired by EA, and then they went and fired 50 PopCap employees in 2012. He also, coincidentally, unrelatedly, is against a lot of EA's decisions when it comes to the pay-to-win model of Plants vs. Zombies 2. And that's what EA did with the popular title of Plants vs. Zombies. They made Plants vs. Zombies 2 that was a lot more geared towards making money than it was being a fun game to play, hence it not doing as well, but of course still made money for EA, so presumably they were happy. Again, the termination of his employment did not coincide with his feelings towards the freemium model seen in Plants vs. Zombies 2. Nevertheless, we're going to argue...
Wait, sorry, why are we talking about it if it happened in 2012?
Because it came up as a story, because there was an interview about it where it was discussed, and suddenly it became like, oh, EA fired this guy because he disagreed with their free-to-play model.
So this is the first time it's coming to light, really.
Because he disagreed with their pay-to-win model.
But
No. But it was a misunderstanding. So that became the story. They fired him because of that. But then he tweeted about it, and then more people who were involved followed up about it, and it was clarified, no. he was fired along with 50 other PopCap employees. Because EA is shitty and they bought PopCap and then they fired a bunch of their employees, including the creator of one of the most popular games that was made.
So this recent article is just saying
this recent article
wasn't
is just,
because he was
it's sort of
anti-pay-to-win.
it's sort of resurfacing this.
Okay.
Originally, it was the story was EA fired him because he disagreed with their pay-to-win model for Plants vs Zombies 2.
Right.
Since then, it was clarified that's not why he was fired.
Okay.
But EA still bought PopCap and took Plants vs. Zombies as an awesome game and made shitty follow-ups to it in the EA style. So, what we're going to argue about here is what popular game EA should target next. Which popular game or game franchise should EA purchase and then utterly ruin next? We have several options
man.
here. We got the Grand Theft Auto franchise from Rockstar, the Minecraft franchise from... I guess it's the Minecraft game from Mojang, now owned by Microsoft.
I already know what I'm choosing.
Final Fantasy, of course, Super Mario Brothers, Pokemon, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, League of Legends, and I added an other there because, of course, there are many, many other options here.
EA would kill to acquire the Pokemon company.
Oh, the Pokemon.
And make that pay to win. Because you just got a bunch of, typically it attracts a younger crowd. And that's not to say that older people don't play it too. I know it's immensely popular with older crowds and stuff. I'd play Pokemon right now if I had a DS and whatnot. But
way better than doing the stupid live show.
Yeah. But I could imagine EA trying to target that. I mean, Plants vs Zombies, a lot of younger people play that too. And younger people who have the money, who have like an allowance or whatever, or young kids are getting credit cards freaking left and right these days. It's crazy. I know he doesn't.
Damn kids, the damn.
It's madness. It's madness that we live in.
I feel like you've exhibited more like old dude stuff today than I've seen you do in a while. I don't know what it is.
My hair's thinning out. I'm getting this receding hairline that's happening. I can't stay awake after 10 p.m. It's a problem. I'm getting old. It's happening. And so I feel like Pokemon is a prime target. It's a prime target for EA. They're going to attack all the little kids with their daddy's credit cards and stuff, just making all these microtransactions. Oh, it's $1 here, dollar there. Kids obsess more than anyone else, on average, about video games and winning, right? And I think Pokemon's a great start. It's a great thing to attack and go after. I mean, the other ones, too, I could see. Minecraft, obviously, a lot of younger kids play that, too. I'm sure a lot of younger kids play League of Legends. Pokemon, though, is something it's been around for so much longer than any of these other IPs, to be honest, that I could see it just being a game changer for EA. It could be one of their most lucrative IPs yet when it comes to microtransactions and a pay-to-win model. Those kids are competitive, I tell you. They're competitive as shit.
Okay. I have various thoughts when it comes to this actual arguments. Like, should I choose the thing that I think will actually win? Should I choose the thing that I think will be the least detrimental to society as a whole? If EA were to actually go and destroy one of these beloved, intellectual properties or franchises or whatever. Ultimately, I want to go with what I think is maybe the most actually functionally practical, which would be PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, super popular right now, so I think there's lots of people who are invested enough into that. They'd be like, oh, that's the game I play. I'm going to vote for that. Second, Bluehole, relatively unknown game developer prior to now. This is their first breakout hit and everything. So I feel like that is kind of one of the aspects of that might make them a little bit more susceptible to a buyout or something like that. So practically speaking, maybe that's something that's more, you take something like, Rockstar or Square Enix or Nintendo or whatever, they're not going to be bought out, right? They're never going to. Nintendo's never going to sell the Super Mario Brothers property. Granted, I'm sure EA would be happy to buy it and destroy it.
Yeah.
And maybe people want that to happen, but there you go. So I'm going to say PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And let's see.
That seems the most practical.
Let's see what you guys
feasible
have to say about this one.
PUBG,
I was right.
You win.
Oh my God, PUBG.
You win.
EA's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. EA's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Oh, second. That was close.
It's like you got to pay $1 every time you want to dive out of the plane. Like you can join any game you want and get in the plane, but it's like $1.
That combine that with all the early access bugs.
I know it'd be
you'll
$1 to get out of the plane early. Like you have to wait an extra 30 seconds on the plane, unless you pay the $1, which you have the option to do every single time.
Half the time in that game,
and then a bunch of people get a 30-second head start on getting their weapons.
And that's exactly, this is another reason why EA would want to buy them up, is because half the time, while it's still in early access, I can barely jump out of the plane in PUBG without it crashing on me, which would mean I'd just be racking up the dough.
Plane crashes?
For EA every time. No, the plane doesn't crash.
Oh, the game crashes.
The game crashes.
What system are you playing on? Because that never happens to me.
The only system that... Oh. Hotline.
Oh, okay.
Well,
there you go.
I get some random ass crashes with PUBG. Really? How often do you play PUBG, though?
I've been benchmarking it a decent amount, and I haven't had any crashes, but... Okay.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's other parts to that.
It'll come around to you.
All right. And now for the final segment. Wait, hold on. I'm not ready. Not ready. Give me about 10 seconds. I have to click this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Those aren't seconds. Those are just numbers.
Well, since you first said that sentence, it's been about 7 seconds now.
You're right.
And now you have about 1 second, and now it's 10 seconds.
For Tales from Space.
I really can't wait to go back and rewatch that just about 7.
I hope it sounds awesome.
It's just us saying it normally, but it's dumb.
All right.
Were you guys impressed? Was all of Paul's preparation for that worth it?
So happy for that. All right. Let's talk about...
Damn, my ears.
Shouldn't be headphone
Holy
users.
ear rape, Batman.
The volume didn't go up. It was
so
just
loud.
an effect.
Way too loud. Don't do that. That echo. LOL. I'm deaf. I have a boner. Okay.
All right,
interesting.
Well, people seem okay with
Everyone's reacting a little bit differently to that.
Okay.
We'll circle back to that.
First off,
look into it.
On Tales from Space, the first ever interstellar visitor. I don't know if that can be confirmed, but the first ever recorded interstellar visitor to our solar system is this thing right here.
What does that mean? He's from a different
It's
galaxy?
from outside of our solar solar system.
This is the first object from outside of our solar system.
Outside of our solar system that we've recorded entering our solar system.
Really?
Typically what we see is, comets, asteroids, whatever, that are all from within our solar system.
Wow.
This is a cigar-shaped asteroid. It's been tracked since mid-October. An automated telescope spotted it. It appeared as if it had been dropped into the solar system from above at an angle that suggests that it comes from outside of our solar system, elsewhere in space. So a team of astronomers has rushed out a paper on this object. They've named it 1L/2017 U1 Oumuamua.
Wait, what?
If my Hawaiian is with me, Oumuamua.
Oumuamua
roughly means first messenger.
Sure it does.
The 1L indicates that it's the first interstellar object that's been recorded by modern astronomers.
Okay.
It passed between the sun and the orbit of Mercury, as you can kind of see right here. Drop down. See, it's coming down. Most of our circles are this way. This one's coming down from where the hell did you come from? So passed between the orbits of Mercury and the sun, dropped down, and then came back up and passed out between the orbits of Mars and Earth.
So how close did it get to Earth?
Within a mile. One
just like I just saw it, like, you know, like at LAX. There's a plane and there's like the asteroid right next to it. They were like side by side.
It was not close to Earth at all. There was never any concern of it actually encountering Earth or anything. The main, you know, thing to talk about here is that it is an extrasolar systemal object. I just made that phrase.
Extrasolar systemal objects.
Yeah. And it is cigar-shaped, of course.
Of course.
Apparently, the technical phrase for cigar-shaped is a triaxial ellipsoid, which measures 80 by...
Just call it cigar-shaped, people.
80 by 80 by 100 meters, as far as the length. Is that 1,000 meters? I'm sorry, 80 by 80 by 1,000 meters.
I was going to say, are you reading off Vesa mounting standards right now?
So it's the length of like a couple football fields, which is pretty crazy. It's spinning very quickly, and it emits a faint red glow, but it changes due to the rotation of it. So over a 7.3-hour period, the amount of light reflected from the object changes by a factor of over 2.5.
Is there any chance of us, like, sending something out there to gather?
Probably not, because this kind of dropped in unexpectedly at a weird angle, and there wasn't a time to, like, you know,
track its trajectory and launch something.
Yeah, like an intrepid team of, like, you know, they usually do oil drilling in like extreme environments, but they were hired by the government to go like up to this asteroid to drill for some special metal or substance that
sounds like you're getting pretty conspiracy theory on me right now.
I'm just trying to write a blockbuster movie, like a summer.
Yeah, well,
could be pretty cool.
Keep trying.
It's like Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Just add Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
It'll be an instant blockbuster.
He should be in more movies.
Wait, so what if this is like finally aliens are trying to contact us with this asteroid? They literally just like threw it down into our solar system. Like, here, look, there's like a very deep encoded message attached to this, and we'll never see it. This is our one chance in our lifetime.
It's not like a spaceship or anything with technology.
It's just like a rock. It's like a paper plane that they just threw in, but it's got a message attached to it.
It's like a very dense rock, because they specifically were comparing it to like a comet. When a comet goes around the sun, it heats up and it vents a bunch of gas and stuff like that. It vented 10 million times less matter than you would expect to see vented by a comet. So it's more like an asteroid or just a rock, a dense cigar-shaped rock. Sometimes a big cigar-shaped rock is just a big cigar-shaped rock, Kyle.
Rock hard rock. Nice.
All right, earthquakes. Cool. Maybe there will be more earthquakes next year. What do you think?
Everyone keeps saying that we're due for a big one here in Southern California
and
the West Coast.
That seems to be, I mean, it's been a while.
Everyone's like, we haven't had an earthquake in a while. We're probably due. I'm like, don't say that.
So just to clarify, this is a space.com article, and they like to use, you know, inflated language from time to time. So I want to be more clear here. So this is based on the study of periods of slow rotation of the Earth over the last 100 years, which is a regular and recurring thing. A tiny slowdown in Earth's rotation. Next year, a tiny slowdown in Earth's rotation could potentially trigger more earthquakes than usual, as indicated by this article. Changes in Earth's rotational speed can be caused by weather patterns like El Nino, ocean currents, as well as currents in the molten core of the planet. Apparently, when the fluids in the planet speed up, the solid parts of the Earth slow down, like the Earth's crust, for example. As the Earth's spin slows slightly, the equator shrinks, because the Earth is an oblate spheroid, as you all know, obviously. And as it spins around, the part in the middle is a bit fatter, because it's spinning, right? So it spins and centrifugal force fatter in the middle. So a slight slowdown of that spin would cause the fat part in the middle to be less fat, which shrinks it down a little bit. The tectonic plates, though, that make up the Earth's crust don't shrink down so easily, so the added stress can lead to an increased chance of earthquakes. On average, there's about 15 major earthquakes per year, at least since modern record keeping has been going on and since about 1900. But during certain periods, the planet sees more like 25 to 35 earthquakes greater than magnitude 7 per year. So going from 15 to 25 to 35 is a pretty significant increase. And according to this study, those increases in earthquakes also correlate to the slowdown of the Earth's rotation as caused by the previously mentioned factors. NASA tracks the length of the day to the microsecond, so the slowdowns in the Earth's spin can be predicted 5 years in advance. Based on that data, the Earth is entering a period of prolonged slower rotation, and as a result, might be more earthquakes next year. Something of great concern to us here in Southern California, as well as I'm sure many other areas around the Earth that are near to major fault lines. But yeah,
all those doomsday preppers are probably freaking out right now.
Nothing to be done. I hope we don't all die. There we go. Let's move to something more visually appealing. Jupiter has a bunch of clouds and storms constantly going on, and there's this really cool picture of this storm on Jupiter that was recently captured by the Juno spacecraft. This was captured on October 24th. It was taken when Juno was 6,281 miles, or 10,108 kilometers, from the planet's cloud tops in the northern hemisphere of Jupiter. The image scale is 4.2 miles per pixel.
Wow.
So every pixel in this image is 4.2 miles across, or 6.7 kilometers. Resembles the swirling pastel clouds of a Vincent van Gogh painting.
Starry Night, perhaps?
Yes, sort of.
Vincent van Gogh.
Evocative of the star. Van Gogh, yes, of course.
Excuse me, pardon my French.
The storm is rotating counterclockwise with a wide range of cloud altitudes. The darker clouds are expected to be deeper in the atmosphere than the brightest clouds.
Well, sure.
So there you go.
Wow.
So
Trippy,
an excellent new wallpaper for any of you guys.
Trippy
AF, want
man.
something for your phone.
Freaking Jupiter.
Final story here on Tales from Space. A 61-year-old DIY enthusiast and stuntman named Mad Mike Hughes. He's planning his first manned launch of a homemade 20,000 steam-powered rocket.
What?
With Research Flat Earth written on the side.
Launch.
On Saturday. This picture here is an orbital ATK Antares rocket. That has nothing to do with that. This actually.
So he's gonna surf on a rocket. There basically. He's gonna surf on a rocket.
It's a manned rocket mission.
So he's actually controlling.
I have no idea. The article doesn't really detail any actual research that might be going on or information that might be gathered by someone who is, as Mad Mike Hughes is, an admitted flat earther. He will launch into the skies above the Mojave Desert ghost town of Amboy at up to 500 miles per hour for roughly 1 mile, attaining a peak altitude of 1,800 feet before the rocket deploys to parachutes. So that's kind of fascinating. He has been known to do this in the past. In fact, there's several YouTube videos linked in the article. For instance, this rocket launch that he did before. He got a Guinness World Record in 2002 for jumping 102 feet in a Lincoln Town Car stretch limo. That's his day job, is he's a limo driver. This is his other rocket launch, a steam rocket flight from 2014. Went up 1,374 feet.
Look at that parachute. It's all busted.
Yeah, the parachute looks like it's not in the best shape here, for sure. There seems to be plenty of holes in there.
Oh my god.
Although it did appear to be a successful flight. It did earn him...
No, this guy's certifiably insane.
It did earn him 3 days of recovery time in the hospital due to the extreme G-forces and the rough descent. From that flight there.
Wait, there's something very troubling about one of the comments in your doc notes here.
What's that?
It says Hughes does not believe in science, which he told the AP has no difference from science fiction.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that this guy is not just some savant or some genius scientist. He's just kind of crazy.
So all right. So he's either
I
crazy
wrong?
and stupid, or he's just someone who knows he can say crazy things to get attention. And hey, we're talking about him right now, so maybe that's working. This event simultaneously serves also as the launch of his California gubernatorial campaign. He's running for governor of California.
What?
Our great state here on the west coast of the United States.
Goodness.
So maybe this is just a publicity stunt, or maybe he believes the things he's actually saying.
I mean, you got to be a little bit stupid to be like a crazy, reckless stuntman.
He says, I know about aerodynamics and fluid dynamics and how things move through the air, about certain size of rocket nozzles and thrust. But that's not science. That's just a formula. There's no difference between science and science fiction.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's read too many books.
Yeah. Did we mention he's a flat earther?
He's a flat earther. That's
kind of where the headlines. Flat earther.
Okay.
You didn't catch that at the beginning?
No,
he believes the Earth is flat.
Okay, well, that makes perfect sense.
All right, so
the Earth is totally flat.
That wraps up our Tales from Space.
We're surfing on a pancake in space. We're just like, woo, Earth's a pancake.
Or a big cigar, perhaps.
Dude, this guy...
Yeah. All right, let us wrap up today's show with some Q&A. We got some donation comments that have come in.
Good Lord.
I burped a little bit there. Sorry about that.
Righteous.
All right. First off, from did we get Gerald?
No, we Gerald, cheers, fellas, for the $5. Thank you, Gerald, if you're watching. Also, I think Grim Reaper we forgot. Grim Reaper,
okay.
1080 with the $5. I always miss the Pimp My PC messages. Oh no, wait.
I think we did get him.
We did get him.
All right, Grim Reaper.
Cool.
Thank you again for that.
Wrist 9 or Wrist 9 for the 10 Argentinian or Australian. Sorry. Hey guys, keep up with the good work. Hey Paul, how's the new wheels?
New wheels are great.
Them truck.
I really like my new truck. It's really fun to drive. I need to have more things. I need to come up with more things to carry around in it. But thank you for your donation. I'll have your reviews.
$5. Salutations, gents. Buying a new 1080p monitor. Is 32-inch too big? Should I go with 27-inch? Thanks, guys. Much love from El Jefe. I personally think 27-inch is probably the better option, just because I feel like anything larger than that, it starts to feel not quite as crisp.
I would try to keep an eye out for a 27-inch 1440. I think that's a good solution there.
Yeah, if it's in the budget, definitely go with 1440p.
32 is definitely too big for 1080. Everything is so huge. Yeah, it's just crazy.
30. If you go above 27 inches, I'd say 1440p or 4K at the very least.
Yeah.
Gerald. $5. How you fellas? Might I suggest a streamer to raid? Lil Red Hydra. I'm sure she would appreciate a nice, awesome hardware raid / love. Right. That is all cheers. So, if you feel like it is a good idea to host this Lil Red Hydra, then by all means, let us know down below in the doc.
He's already got somebody else signed up.
Okay, well then screw you.
It's up to Sell though.
Sell.
He has his whims, his moods change with the wind. So you know.
He's very mysterious. Chazzer B31491. $5. Should I buy a $350 Dell 1440p 144Hz G-Sync TN monitor on Black Friday if I have a 1050 Ti, but looking to upgrade eventually when GPU prices fall?
Chazzer, I saw that deal. That's a crazy deal that's been leaked out there. Very, very low price for the size, refresh rate, and resolution of that monitor.
But it's TN.
And it's TN, but...
it's still an amazing deal, but I also feel like TN's old.
But TN, I mean, if you want those other specs at that at 1440 and 144 hertz and G-Sync for $350, it's gonna be TN. Like, you're not gonna get away from that.
Yeah.
And TN, I mean, there's a variety of TN panels, and some are better than others. So I would say, I mean, if you got the money, go for it. It's a very nice upgrade. You can do G-Sync with 1050 Ti, and a lower power graphics card is actually a very good combination with G-Sync, because you can kind of get the most out of it for your money. And if you're planning on upgrading your GPU in the future, I'd say go for it.
try to look at the quality in person before you buy it.
Don't listen to Kylie, stupid. But yeah, if you can take a look in person, definitely that's worth it too, for sure.
Doesn't hurt.
Right.
Scott Dilbeck, $6.66. Have a good Thanksgiving, guys. Who else agrees that they should make a new Time Splitters game? I love Time Splitters back in the day. I played that shit all the time. Specifically Time Splitters 2 on GameCube. I played it with my friends and by myself all the time. Yeah, that was a great game. It was a good first-person shooter. But
I've never played.
Had really good multiplayer play, and there was like also a map editor. It was like one of the first FPSs where you could create your own map and play with friends in it and stuff. It was fun.
Well, based on what Kyle has said just now, I completely agree and say yes.
100%.
Thank you, Scott.
Stephen Hill, $10. I'm
Steven.
glad I'm not the only person who likes manual trucks with four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
On an unrelated note, keep up with the content, gentlemen. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you,
Good
Stephen.
seeing you
It was
the day at the
excellent
meetup.
to see you on Saturday, and I follow you on Twitter now.
I think that was already fun.
Joe Tisher,
$10. Hopefully the net stays free and I can afford to keep supporting you guys. Keep the facial hair, Kyle. Don't even have to say it twice. You drink too much and might wear out your ID. Gen 2 rising soon.
We're kind of hoping. 2018 might show us some Zen 2 based stuff.
Q2,
My
Q3.
guess would be probably around Computex
Yeah.
would be, but it's still really early. We haven't heard too many rumors at all. But
Fingers crossed.
yeah, hopefully here soon.
Tyler Farnsworth, $5. Just an idea. You guys could auction off your extra hardware when you do the charity stream and donate the proceeds. Keep up the good work, guys.
Tyler, that is a consideration, but we're mostly going to be auctioning off the two systems that we've built. My system is the entry-level Threadripper system, which has a 1900X, as well as a bunch of other really awesome hardware.
Is that your only 1900X?
Yeah, I bought it. I've only got one. Why?
I've only got one.
Did you get a 1900X?
I did not get one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they did much sampling in the 1900X.
Yeah.
But
that's a good CPU though.
Yeah, I mean it's a very solid CPU, and since it's Threadripper, the overclocking on it's like even running it stock out of the box, it was hitting 4.1 or 4.2 gigahertz on a single or a couple cores, which is pretty nice. It's got an Enermax Liquidtech liquid CPU cooler and a GTX 1070 Ti from Zotac. So it's a very solid system. I'm sure Kyle's system is going to be equally epic.
It will be equally better.
Great. But yes, it's probably going to be slightly better. Slightly better than mine.
It'll be equally better.
It'll be equally better. I like that.
All right, Machine V2, $10. What camera do you guys use to stream? Quality is nice. GH4 or 5?
Machine V2.
GH5.
Right now, GH5 is the camera, but a GH4 would work just fine as well. The capture card is the Blackmagic 4K
Pro. Intensity Pro? Or no?
Just look up Blackmagic 4K capture on my channel, and I have
it's the PCIe one, right?
Yeah, it's PCI Express one, and it captures in 4K. So
yeah,
it captures in 4K, but we're capturing at 1080 60 right now, which is why it's nice and sharp. It's 60 FPS. But yeah, it's a good combination for
sexy. I need to give me one
purposes.
of those. Steven Weirman, $5. Windows 10 Creators Update has an app for Dolby Atmos and a $15 option for simulated Atmos for any headphones. If you have tried it, what do you think? I have not tried that at all, actually. An app for Dolby Atmos. An option for simulated Atmos.
I have not tried that.
At all.
I feel like $15 is a lot to spend for something like that.
Yeah, you got to be a serious audiophile with like the cans to back it up, to back up the justification.
It's just a software thing, and if it's part of the update.
Yeah, I'd wait for some reviews on that and some feedback on that to flow out before actually buying it up. Sorry I couldn't provide more info. Cole Fender, $5. Hey, could two GTX 970 SSCs or super clocked SLI run all games at 2560 by 1080? Just wondering, just got a second card and was wondering, you should be good. I think you'll be fine.
You might hit...
unless the game doesn't support SLI.
You might hit a memory cap at some point because you are limited to kind of 3.5 total still on that. But 2560 by 1080 isn't that high of resolution, so you're probably going to be good for the most part.
If anything, you might have to disable certain filters that eat up a lot of VRAM.
Yeah.
And you should be okay.
Just run, run some software where you can keep an eye on GPU memory usage, like Precision X or MSI Afterburner or something like that, and check it out with the games that you play and see if that's actually an issue that you're encountering. But yeah, I think that actually would be a pretty decent combination for resolution and GPU.
Yeah, and we've mentioned a million times, but if you have the option, one single faster graphics card is always going to be better than two slower ones in SLI or Crossfire. Alex Weber, $5. Paul, Kyle, I built my first PC last week thanks to you. Would love to meet some new people on Steam
Alex.
Since I have no PC friends. Grizzle Sauce, cheers.
All right, everyone add Grizzle Sauce on Steam to your friends
Grizzle Sauce him. Grizzle Sauce the shit out of him.
2 Z's, Grizzle Sauce.
Steam Raid.
Steam Raid.
Steam Raid on Grizzle Sauce.
There we go.
Grizzle Sauce. All right, thanks, Grizzle Sauce. Thanks, Alex.
Right.
Chill Out Dad, our final donation for the 5 Canardiers. 5 Canardiers. Yes, and he even listed it. Yes, you're catching on. Awesome hardware. Dupes Grass. What's that mean? Thanks for the birthday shout out last week. This is for you guys. Cheers, Jason. P.S. Remember to floss. What's Dupes Grass mean?
I don't know. I think it's a drug reference.
Probably.
Which
we totally don't get.
No, so I don't understand that at all.
But those are all the donations for today.
Thank
you guys so much.
Chill Out Dad.
We do have some. Okay. I have 2.
Oh, I do have some more.
Sergio P with the BIOS Flasher shirt. Thank you very much, sir.
Joseph. Wait.
Ooh.
Either Joseph A or Joseph F. I can't tell which one you are, but you're from Fullerton. You're really local.
Wow.
You're very close to us.
Like down the street.
The thumbscrew trucker cap.
Nice. And we got another one from Sergio. 2 different orders from the same guy.
Sergio.
Picking up an Evolution Heavy Metal Gray shirt. Thank you, sir.
Tyler P from Washington got the mug, 11-ounce mug, and the thumbscrew bottle opener. Johnson to you, Tyler. Thank you so much. And finally, Dakota W from Texas. Where everything's bigger. You got the awesome hardware RGB everything.
So she said.
The dark gray heather version.
Shit.
Super sexy.
Shit. All right. We are doing a Twitch raid. This is referred by our good friend and moderator, Cell Processing.
Thank you, Cell.
We're going to be raiding Jenna Gamerson. Jena.
One N. Jena.
Jenna Gamer.
Gamer.
Sin. Sin. We will be hosting her as well from our channel, so if you want to just stay put on Twitch, you can do so. Otherwise, guys...
Yeah, go over there, tell her we said hi.
Yes.
Hit the thumbs up button on this video, of course. If you missed the first half, check out Kyle's channel. It's linked in the video's description. Beyond that, we will be back next week with another live show, and in the interim, we're going to have tons of awesome technology videos on our channels, so subscribe to them. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks to Twitch for being here live and being awesome. Thanks to Cell, as well as I believe I saw Spider in there. Big shout out to you, Spider.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks to Wifey Sauce, too, for helping out with everything.
Thanks, honey.
And I'll be sending your husband home soon.
Mostly intact.
Mostly. All right. Bye, guys.